We start today's episode in the most beautiful gardens called Beechwood. It's owned by Christopher Gregg, who's an esteemed and well-known South African jewellery designer. The garden was opened as part of the celebrated Gardens of the Golden City, which is used as a fundraising event. And thousands of people flocked here to enjoy this beautiful garden. If you weren't one of those, well, today you get to experience a part of that garden. And for the next few episodes, we're going to reveal some more of it. The section of the garden is known by Christopher as the lakeside, and it really is just that, all man-made, which I'm sure we'll find out a little bit more when we chat to Christopher himself. But it really does awaken you as you walk into the garden. It surprises you with this beautiful pond in the top section and then leading down into the various sections of water. Planted up beautifully, grown so that it really does look like it's part of this garden. What's so important about the water is that it brings in not only the sound, but it's all the reflections that you're able to find in it. Not only that, it's the bird life that it brings, and it's that just added element into it. Right here, sitting underneath this huge jacaranda tree, is just spectacular. The petals actually look like a carpet all across the water's edge. The plant material that's been used is fantastic because it's lush, it's gorgeous, very beautiful, and with having my 3 bronze otters as company right here, I think I could spend a bit of time here. The secret to this water garden, I do believe, is about the planting because it looks so natural. It's covered up all the edges. It looks like it's been here for years and years, and as if man hasn't really been involved in it. And I guess that's what makes it so spectacular. Some of the plants that have been used are alocasias, that big guy behind me with the huge elephant-type ears as the leaves, beautiful tree ferns, watercress in the background there, loads of acanthus mollis. They're those guys with the tall spikes of flowers that pop out of them, large leaves, many different water grasses, and of course, your firm old favourite, arums and papyrus. All of those love having wet feet, and that's really important when considering what type of plants you want to grow alongside your water feature. If there's going to be a bit of oversplash, if you're going to have water seeping through, or even if you're going to have a little stream, you've got to make sure that those plants are going to enjoy having wet feet. If not, you're going to have an endless battle towards getting it looking just like this. I'm mesmerised by the tranquility, the beauty, and the sound of the water. Before I get too carried away though, let me go and find Christopher so we can find out a bit more about how this pond, stroke lake, ended up right here. I mean, this is magnificent. How did it all start?
I've always believed that any garden, even the smallest garden, is not a garden without a substantial amount of water. Mm-hmm. So water is my favorite thing in a garden. When I bought this property 12 years ago, there was no water at all. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, I put a large amount of the garden underwater with these 6 ponds. They're all linked. The water flows between all of them. The problem we had, which was quite interesting, is that I was advised by one of South Africa's top water garden people that water beneath jacarandas is always a problem because of the fact that the jacaranda blooms do poison the water. Okay. So we're right in the middle of that phase right now. Whilst the jacaranda blossom is so pretty, we have to...
It looks like a carpet.
It does. We have to scoop it out a few times a day because otherwise my ponds are very, very much full of water life, fish, frogs, tadpoles. And if the flowers are left in the water becomes very putrid and it discolors and it becomes poisoned. So that is one of the downsides. On the upside again, I was very fortunate in that there was natural gradient on the property,
for sure,
which allowed me to have these waterfalls so that there's a drop in height.
The construction, I mean, this is under trees with big roots. I mean, this would have made me nervous.
Yeah, it made me nervous too. It was done by a swimming pool construction company. I dug the holes myself, and I needed all the soil because we created a sort of a hill effect on the perimeter of the property. So the soil was all moved to the outside, and then we were left with these big holes, and basically, as I say, swimming pool construction technique whereby it was a large mesh was used first, then came concrete, and then it was gunnited, and that was some 7 or 8 years ago, and I don't believe, even with these 6 or 7 ponds, they seem to be 100% watertight, so I've been very fortunate that I'm not losing any water.
Initially, it must have been quite daunting to say, well, what am I going to plant and how am I going to get it right?
Yeah, you know, as I've gone along, the plants that I would specifically like to highlight, aside from the wonderful water lilies, is the big grass that we've got there above the steps. That was sold to me as Sotara grass. I don't know what the Latin name is. So the Sotara grass is one I can truly recommend. And then down here we've got what I only know as water parsnip.
Yes.
And what's rather nice about it is that it once it takes, it starts to grow wild. And I like the wild look of it. You've got it over there where the otters are. So the water parsnip is an absolute winner.
I've been here for about 2 hours and I have seen so much wildlife in this pond. It's like a zoo.
It's amazing how the pond has brought in so much by way of wildlife. We've had a pair of black river duck that come here from time to time, yellow-billed duck, black-headed heron. Most important of all for me was the arrival 2 years ago of lesser moorhen. One came first, a month later a mate arrived. They've bred right now for the 3rd year in succession. So the bird life is incredible, and I can only believe that it's as a result of the fact that the garden is so natural and so wild.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to adventuring into the next part of your garden with you. Thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you so much, Tanya.
Well, there you go, folks. There is the importance of water. And yes, here you've seen exactly how it can work for you and your garden. Plus, of course, the most important part is to bring all that wildlife right into your back pad.